a conductor Mn of length L is moving with a uniform. Are you able to see the problem here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So you have a conductor. Let me take a conductor like this. It's given in the figure already. So you have a conductor and you have one more conductor like this. Let me take another conductor. Okay. So I have two conductors arranged like that. So now what we do is this. It's extending all the way up to, so it's very long conductor. The green one is a long conductor, and this color, whatever name you want to give the name to this color, say it is, let me take it is some rose or some other color, whatever. So say this is my yeah yeah a conductor, and we are moving this conductor with velocity v in upward direction. And now in this scenario, what happened is this long conductor is carrying current I like this. It's given in the question, okay? I given this way, and that's it. The distance from here to here is say some r, and length of the conductor is L. Okay, that is given to you. Now you see a conductor Mn of length L is moving with a uniform velocity v as shown, and now this arrangement is parallel. Now, so this conductor moving, and it is moving parallel to a long straight wire, the green color. Okay, this long green color wire, say it's carrying current I. Find the EMF induced in the conductor Mn. Can I do this? Find the induced EMF. Yeah, find the EMF induced in the conductor Mn. Anyone? You just tell me only one point. As the current is going all the way like this, capital I through this green wire, how would be the magnetic induction towards its right side? Into the board or outwards the board?
Into, sir.
Yeah, into the board. Yeah, very good. You take your right hand thumb rule. Okay, or you can use right hand palm or right hand thumb, whatever. You put your right hand thumb along the current direction I, and the four fingers, okay, you just curl into the board. So therefore you will see B is into the board. And if I see, or if I see here on the left hand side, B will come out like this, right? And again B will go all the way like this into the board, and again will come this way. This fact we are very familiar with. So B always form a loop. Okay, so as we have this Mn conductor towards right hand side, so we are considering B only on the right hand side. So we ignore this B in the left hand side. Okay, so therefore let me remove everything now. All right, so that is what you have. Now you tell me, how would be the where would be the positive potential on this conductor, at M or at N?
N, sir.
M or N? M or N?
N.
Why N? You take your right hand rule. I mean,
M, sir. M.
M. Yeah. You take your right hand palm. His palm is something. Okay, this is my right hand. Okay. Don't take your left hand, please. Until things will change. You take left hand. Now this thumb is along V. Along this V. Okay. The thumb is along the V, and the palm, the whatever palm fingers, you are pointing into the board. That is this B. Okay, now in this scenario I could say, what we could say is the normal to this is what? Positive potential. Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is your palm face. This is your palm face like this. So therefore we have this side you have uh, positive potential, and this side you have now negative potential. So as this conductor M1 is moving with velocity v, so this conductor, EMF will be induced in this conductor. That is what motional EMF. So EMF is induced because of the motion of the conductor. So therefore we are saying it is motional EMF. All right. So with this clarity, now we will do something like this. You see, now what I do, I want to find the induced EMF. So now we came to know EMF will be induced positive polarity towards M, negative polarity towards N. So I want to find that. I want to find now induced EMF. So how do I find this? Okay. So for that, we do a little arrangement like this. I can take now. I can take this blue. So say this is R, right? Any help? How can you do now?
Magnetic field resistance R plus D.
Okay. Meanwhile, anyone can solve this.
Sir, we can
Anyone?
divide the rod into two parts.
Okay. Then
Sir, we must consider elementary sections.
okay. Where? So as we have whatever derivations we have.
From R plus 0 to
R2 R plus L, sir.
Okay, fine. So okay, great. So what I do now is let me remove this. For clarity purpose, okay. Anyways, you can do this. Now I'll go from blue. This is blue, okay. Now from this conductor, I'll travel x units. Okay. So let me travel x units from this conductor, green conductor, and here I will consider a small element. Are you getting this? I'll consider a small element here, and that is dx. Okay. You travel x units from the conductor, and at this x units you take a small element of the wire, and that is dx. Okay. Now again you put your right hand palm. Now again you put your right hand palm at this element dx. Now you tell me, where do you see the positive potential? Towards left of the dx or right of the dx? Where do you see positive potential? Towards left of the dx or right of the dx? Put your
Left.
palm.
Yes, sir.
Left of the
Yeah,
DX.
obviously here this is plus, this is minus. So induced EMF in the small, induced EMF within the element, dx. Dx is a small element out of Mn. Okay, so dx is subset of, I can say, Mn. So this guy belongs to this Mn, subset of this. So what is the induced EMF now? This is, as it is small element, so I take elemental induced EMF d is equal to what I get now?
BVDX.
Very good.
BVD.
Very good. So BV dx, we have BVL here, length is dx, so therefore we took now BV dx. Now what else I can do?
Integrate.
Yeah, that's it. So I want total induced EMF. So I want total induced EMF. So if I go this, so I can say E across Mn. This is total induced EMF. So integrate this guy d like this. Now what is B here? Before we venture into this integration, what is B? We need to find B, right? What is B? Can I say B is equal to mu naught I by
nothing.
2 pi x?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because at x units from this current carrying conductor, I want this magnetic induction B. So therefore, I'm taking mu naught I by 2 pi x here, because I know due to long current carrying conductor, I have this form. So that is my B. So I have V, and also I have dx. So therefore, I just take it now like this. So I have mu naught I 2 pi V multiplied by 1 over x dx. as we have x is a variable, so x is running from where to where now?
R to R to R plus L.
Very good. X is equal to R to R plus L. Why? Because if I reach from here to here, I am traveling R. The moment I reach from this long conductor to R units, I will reach one end of this conductor M. Now, from here to here, you have L. So here to here is R. So from here to here is now R plus L. So in this scenario, I can cover complete conductor from here to here. Okay. So this way, we'll follow this approach. One of the approaches is this simple approach. So R to R plus L. Now simply solve it. That's it. That's the answer. You can solve it now. You need not wait on me. You can directly solve it on your own. Okay. So what we get is, okay, so total induced EMF across Mn is, this integrand mu naught I by 2 pi v. So this integrand I can bring it out. So I have mu naught I by 2 pi v. So you have 1 over x dx. So I can take 1 over x dx as ln x. So you have total induced EMF across the conductor mu naught I v over 2 pi, and this is ln x. So if you plug in the limits, you have R plus L by R. Yes or not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is what you have. So it's depending, it's a log dependence. Okay. So that's so this must be pretty clear for everyone. So like
Sir.
how to solve. So once you have the basics, you can definitely solve. Means you should know the approach. And I don't think you will get this kind of questions in Gatham examination. Strictly speaking, I'm going, I think, almost beyond that, beyond 90% is out of syllabus with unit number 3, because expecting that you should know these things means thinking that you should know all these points, because they're very important. So you can't neglect these points. That's the intention. Okay, and just give me 1 minute. Some water. Okay, so this is done. So I think already saved this. Let me save. Let me take a file. Okay. I have a situation like this, for example. No? Yeah. I have some situation. Okay. So let me draw it again. So you're seeing now a direction of magnetic induction in the magnetic field is into the board. Okay, that's what you're seeing. Now I will take 3 cases and you just tell me the induced EMF. That's it, and that's what our task. So straight lines, straight vertical lines are. This is so pale. Okay, so you have a conductor like this. Now say this end is M, this end is N, length L is L, is moving like this with velocity V. So what is the induced EMF across Mn now? Yes, you are moving this conductor with velocity V, say towards right. What is induced EMF now? Already have done this, right? What is induced EMF now?
BL is
Yeah, BVL. So where do you have positive polarity?
M,
You
sir.
put, yeah, you have at M, correct. So this must be negative. So when you keep moving this towards right end, so you would see the positive polarity over here, negative polarity over here. Okay, throughout its journey, it will maintain this. You know what? This will not again reverse because this B is not changing. Okay, so B is into the board as of now. So forever it will maintain the same polarity during its course of travel from one point to another point. Now I would go for another case. For example, I have what I have is this. Where do we have space? We have no space. I have my conductor like this. Okay, this is my M, this is my N. Now I'm moving this conductor this way, V. Now what happens? Now the length of the conductor is L. If I ask you what is induced EMF across Mn, what's the answer now? Assume that the thickness of conductor is very thin. Okay, it takes something like you have a very thin conductor like this, a thin conductor, and you are moving it like this. Meanwhile, you have magnetic induction into the board. Okay, so you have magnetic induction into the board. ఏంటండి 1 second, one. Have to give it beforehand. Okay, anyways, thank. So now you tell me you're moving your conductor Mn. Okay, towards right. Now what happens? Anyone?
sir, N sir.
How much? In this
Sir,
case, what happens?
positive potential is at N.
No, okay, I'm not asking your positive potential. I'm just asking. Okay, no, I'm not asking your positive potential here. I'm asking value of induced EMF.
Sir, almost equal to 0.
Very good. It's 0. I can say, yes, you are correct, almost equal to 0. And that depends upon the thickness of the conductor, okay? Because why? Because in this case, this conductor, he is not cutting any magnetic flux, okay? If I take thickness very small, if I take a very small thickness of the conductor, then the small thickness of the conductor, whatever, he will never cut any flux. So in that case, EMF induced equal to 0. So in this case, what's going on? In this case, the length L of the conductor is cutting all the flux. For example, you see, if you move your conductor like this, for example, this way, now by this time you will be here, right? You will be here now. Now in its course of travel, what you have done? In its course of travel, you have cut this flux. Yes or not? This entire area you have cut. So therefore, we can say induced EMF is BVL. So flux must be cut by the conductor, or this fellow should cut this conductor. Anyways, both will have relative action. The relative action is correct. Now, for example, if I take some considerable thickness of conductor in its course of travel, then what happens? Then of course, then this bar become positive, this bar become negative, because if there is some thickness, if thickness is just not equal to 0, then you have some EMF induced in this case. But otherwise, for a very thin conductors, EMF induced is almost equal to 0. Very good. So now I have, say, one more case I will take. Let me take one more case. Now you tell me what will happen. I take like this. Okay, this is length L of the conductor. Anyone? I'll take same length whatever I have here. So let me give that field. Yeah, almost same length. Now what happens? Anyone? Now you're moving this, say you're moving this conductor like this. You are moving this conductor again towards right like this. Then what happens? What do you
BVL
just?
sin theta.
Sir, BVL sin theta.
Very good. So you will get BVL sine theta. So now this component L sine theta is one of the perpendicular components of this. That is, you see now what's going to happen is this. You are moving anyways. So when you are moving like this, your conductor, you are moving all the way from one end to other end. Okay. Now, if you observe carefully, the area it's swapped. The area this inclined conductor swapped, and the area swapped by the vertical conductor is different. In this case, the area swapped is high, and in this case, the area swapped is low, and it depends upon the angle theta. Say this is the angle theta now. So this is the angle theta. That is the angle theta. This is also same angle theta, right? This is also same angle theta. Here also we have same angle theta. So with that clarity, now I can take two components of L. One component is what here? This one, right? This
Cos
is one
theta.
component. This is theta again. So therefore this becomes L cos theta. And the other component, perpendicular component of this is this one.
Sin theta.
Yeah, this is L sine theta. So in its course of travel, by this conductor from one end to other end. Now, who is contributing for induced EMF? L cos theta or L sin theta?
Sin theta.
Sin theta, sir.
Because L cos theta component is just like this. Okay, he is just like this, and therefore this L cos theta component is not cutting any flux, but L sin theta component is cutting flux in its course of travel. So therefore we are taking L sin theta. So we have associated L sin theta to this BV factor, and this is what your induced EMF for now. So you can go in many ways. Okay, yeah, you can obviously check in many ways, and you can check it out. For example, the other way is what here, if I just go in the other way, if I don't want to go in terms of L sine theta, I can also go like this. See, anyways, this is my V, right? If it is my V, the angle between L and this V is theta. So can I say that this is V cos theta along this path? I
Yes,
can
sir.
say, right, this is V cos theta. If this is V cos theta, its other perpendicular component is what? This one, right?
Yes, sir. V
Yeah,
sin theta.
this is V sin theta. I can also go whichever you want. You can go ahead with that. Now tell me who will contribute. Who will contribute to this EMF induction?
V sin theta.
V sin theta.
Obviously, V sin theta will contribute to that induction. So BL V sin theta. Okay, so no EMF is cut. If you move your conductor like this, if you think, if you move your conductor something like this, you have some conductor. That's it. The thickness, of course, if you take it very thin, thickness, if it is very thin, if you move your conductor like this, so this guy will not cut any flux. Okay, but if you move your conductor this way, definitely EMF will be induced. Okay, so that's because if you move it, because this is what normal to the conductor. Okay, so this is a conductor, and V sine theta is acting normal to the conductor. Therefore, if you move this conductor, entire conductor will just come like this. Okay, so therefore EMF will be induced in that case. So because area will be swapped by this entire conductor EMF in this case. But in this case, if thickness is very small, so this fellow will not contribute to any induced EMF. So you can go anyways. If you think second approach is difficult for you, just go with that L cos theta L sin theta approach. That is just straightforward. I mean, so similarly with this basic clarity, I want you to have clarity on this. So with this basic clarity, now we can venture into this. That is, let me take it again. V, again, Control V. Okay. For example, you see, now we will take beauty. One more beautiful assumption we'll have. Okay. Say you have a conductor like this. I have a conductor, say, what did I take? I have some random conductor, okay? This is some random conductor shape. Say this is like M, again same, now M. Now what you're doing is that you're moving this conductor like this with some velocity V, and the B is of course into the board. Now what happens? Now what is the induced EMF across MF? Anyone? Is anything missing in this figure? Do you want anything extra in this figure? Anything is missing in this figure? I can take displacement between these two. Okay, take it as L. Now you tell me. Now you tell me, please. Please try. You can tell me. I know. Please don't look into that randomness. You
BVL.
focus. Excellent. It must be BVL. How? But how?
Sir, here I'm assuming that here at the end we are having the
Yes.
the line which is in the cos theta direction,
Okay.
and near the M also it is in the cos theta direction. But from there to downward we are getting the length L, sir. We are getting some angles from M to N. If you go down from M to N.
Okay, fine.
So
Great.
basically the length is L.
Good. So fine. So let me just go according to your lines, but just in a different way.
Sir, or else you can do integration, sir, by taking DL.
Yeah, of course, I can take also integration. Very good. So I can go anyways. So this is I have randomness in the conductor shape. I have something like this. So this guy is moving with velocity towards right hand. But whatever, I must have the length L anyways. So this is not displacement quantity. This is because the distance is what all around this shape. I have this displacement, but I can happily take this displacement as my length L conveniently because of this reason. Yes, as you said. Now say this is like y-axis, okay? This is like x-axis. X-axis, say this is x-axis. Now what I do is you take any component. For example, let me take two components. This is my dx, this is my dy. Agree? This chotu is my dx, and this chotu fellow is my dy. Yeah. Now tell me who will contribute for the induced EMF, dx or dy?
dy, sir.
Dy, that's it. So I have dx component and also I have dy component. So this fellow is not contributing anything for the induced EMF. Whereas this fellow is coming forward here and there, I can contribute for the induced EMF. He is not smiling. Let's make it. Of course, he's serious, but think he's smiling. So this fellow is contributing for induced EMF because see this dy is just like this. If it is your magnetic induction direction, okay, and this dy, for example, let me take on the color dy is this. So this is my dy. So when you if I move this dy like this, yeah, now he's cutting, right? Now he's cutting magnetic flux, yes or not? Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if I take dx, if I take dx like this, anyways I have to move. See, when you are moving the entire wire towards right, you are moving both dx and dy. Yes or not? That's very important. So you are moving dx now. You are moving like this. You're also moving this, but this guy is not cutting any magnetic flux. So therefore, he will not contribute to any EMF induction. So therefore, I can take everywhere the same. Not only here, I can take here dx. I can take, means the figure I cannot show here. Okay, I can take here. Okay, this is very difficult to show. I can take dx here. I can take dy, dx, dy. I can take anything. Okay, so I can complete this. I can complete this structure like this. End of the day, if I integrate all dy, then what do I get? If I
Yes, sir.
if I add this dy,
Yes, sir.
of course, very good. This dy and this dy, somewhere dy, all dy's if I add, I'll get this beautiful here. Okay, so end of the day, only these fellows will contribute for the induced EMF. So therefore, I can say integration of dy must be L. So this is what BVL. So that is the idea. That's the motivation behind understanding the previous figure. That means you have one vertical, you have one horizontal, and you have other inclined. Okay, so with this clarity, once you have this clarity, I think you have clarity here. Now what we do, we just venture into this. For example, what I'll take now is one more figure. Say you are now like this. Okay, say now you are, see this point is m, this point is n. All right, and let me take this, the displacement quantity is, this is say L. Okay, now you're just moving like this. Now what do you think? Though it's a random shape, the angle made is theta. Now what do you think is the induced EMF? What do you think is the induced EMF now?
Sir, BVL sin theta.
Sin theta, sir. BVL sin theta.
Obviously, that's it. So BVL sine theta. That means we are, which are, see, you can take again same thing. This is my dy. So I can, this is my dx, this is my dy, this is my dx, dy, dx, dy, so on. Dx, dy. Slope values may be different because the shape is, no, yeah, shape is varying in its course of travel. So therefore, slopes also will change within that particular segment. So we are not going into those mathematical details, but it's a mere common sense or also mere sense that we can say this BVL sine theta. Otherwise, the same figure also I can show this way. The same, there are several ways of solving a problem. So a student should be able to ready to attack anything. Yeah, he or she should not. I'm able to. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll cut this. Yeah, 5 more minutes. We will. Otherwise, now time is 2:50. We will discuss up to 3, and we will take 5 minutes break. Then again we'll meet. I know it's afternoon. Horrible. That point I know. So I'll take Control V. I'll put it here. I just take one more case. The case is, which color I will take now? Let me take this color. Case is say, for example, let me take it the same. I'll take the same shape, okay? Some random shape. This is M again, this is N again, this is N, this is M. Now, this is what the displacement between these two. This is my L. Now, if you attempt moving this not this way, you are not moving now like this, but in turn, you make him to go this way. Now what happens? This is angle theta. Now what happens? That means we just make him to move like this. Yeah.
Sir, BVL cos theta.
BVL,
Cos theta, sir.
think properly. It's again same answer. EMN.
Sin theta.
BVL sine theta. How do you get cos theta? But how do you get cos theta? You think, you work on it. See, both have same meaning. If you work on it, you will get same answer. Just go home and think about it, okay? You project this V or you project L. Either you project L or project V, whichever you want to project, you project and see. It's needless to go with V, I mean L. You can project directly V and you can check it out. You will get BVL sine theta as the answer. Okay, and last case, and if you finish this last case, and then you do, I'll not save it. So what I do now, I'll take one more. Say you have something like this. You have a semicircle. There is a semicircle like this. Say at this point is Mr. M, this point is Mr. N, and here on top, I take one more point there, that's a P, okay? And now what we do is, I want this. So now you have a semicircle. This is my center point here, and this is R, this is R. So this is my R, say, this end is R. So therefore, if you take its, say, length L equal to 2R. Okay, that's it, diameter of this circle. Of course, you have semicircle here. And I take now one more color. And what is this now? What is this length here? What is this length now?
R, sir.
R, sir.
Yeah, obviously, because it's a semicircle, right? So that must be again same radius R. So now the question is, you're moving this fellow like this towards right. Okay, anyways, B is into the board. This is my B into the board, and this is my B. You're pulling this guy towards right. Now what happens? Now the question is, what must be induced EMF across MN? Anyone?
Zero.
PVR.
Okay. How many of you say 0? No, see, you just fixed your answer. Don't worry about anything, anyone. So how many of you say EMN is 0? Okay, Abhilash is saying 0. And anyone else? Please turn up. Please turn up in giving answers. Please don't cover yourself. So please turn up. Anyone? Remaining all non-zero. Okay. So anyone is saying BVR or 2 BVR? How many of you vote for BVR or 2 BVR? Okay, no one. So Hamant Viyapu is saying what? You mean BVR?
Yes, sir. B.
Okay, BVR. Kishore also BVR.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So let me go. Okay, with this. 3 participants raised hand. Oh, great. Subhadeep is saying BVR. Raghavendra Sai is okay. I am saying correct answer is 0. How many of you support me? I want to support Abhilash in this context. How many of you support? Okay, I'm saying that correct answer is 0. Now, how many of you support me here? Oh my God, no one is believing me. Oh my God, then I must change. No one is believing me. I'm saying EMF induced across MN is 0. That is correct. How many of you support me now? Once you know, please. Okay, 1 second. Please lower your hands now. Everyone, please. Kishore Yadav, also you. Please down your hand. Okay. Now you please tell me how many of you support. I'm saying correct answer is 0. How many
Sir,
of you support me? Yes.
if we take M to P and P to N,
Hmm. Very good.
then
Okay. I can
Sir,
take
from
M
M to
to.
P, the current moves upwards, sir, from M to P. From P,
Okay.
take the R, the current moves from N to P. So those
Okay.
both are in opposite direction at P.
Okay.
So we won't get any EMF. That's how we get 0.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Any other? Okay. No. No. Okay. Fine. Great. Please support me here. After these many classes, you must believe me, right? At least to some extent. I'm saying correct answer is 0. Only Abhilash is supporting me. Raghavendra Sai is supporting. Kishore Yadav is supporting. Ignesh is supporting. Thank you very much. Okay, out of this complete entire section, only I'm seeing 5 supports. Okay. Is my speech rhetoric? Okay, is my writing a rhetoric? You don't support me? I think I am fanatical. Okay. Maybe I'm fanatical to you, but let me support my answer. So I'm standing on my answer. I'm thinking my answer is correct. If I'm wrong, please modify me, okay? So one of your friends said, you divide this stuff into 2 equal halves. Say you have PM, 1/2, other half is say PM. So now what do? Is I just try to find induced EMF, okay? So induced EMF across, say, what do I take? I take PM. I take, say, PM. What I mean with this one is that you have like this. You have your magnetic induction. The direction of magnetic induction in the magnetic field is into the board. What do I mean by this? I keep on say that the direction of magnetic induction in the magnetic field. I'm using 2 times magnetic induction in the magnetic field. You please think on these things. When I keep on say something, you please think on that. And those things you have to mind. Okay, say I manage somehow. Other than straight lines, remaining things are simple. This is MP. Okay, I just want to only move this. I just only want to move it now. Okay, I forgot about PN. I'm only moving this. Then what do? Then I must take what here anyways? I must take, again I will take dx dy. So it's nothing but I am moving this one, right? Right, so this part will contribute now. So this part will contribute. This is R. So now what is EMF induced across PM? You simply say B. This is my B. Okay, B, V, this R. So simply I say BVR. Similarly, also you move only this PN. So therefore you say EPN is equal to what you get now again. Again we get BVR. I'm just clarify me at one point. Now where do we have high potential? If you take this MP or PM, if I take this PM into consideration, so where do we see high potential? At P or at M?
P, sir. P.
At P.
P,
That's
sir.
fine. So this guy became positive anyways. So that means he must be negative.
Yes,
There
sir.
is no second thought. So he must go negative. Let me remove this all these colors. Let me make this simple. Okay. So okay, anyways, let here. I know this. This is BVR, and I know EPM. This is also BVR. Okay. So if I put my, as you said, correct. If I put my right hand palm rule, or you can take right hand thumb, day after day, my figures are going elsewhere. Okay. దీని తెలుగులో అంటారు ఏంటి, నడిచి నడిచి బంగారం ముందంతా నడిచేట తర్వాత పంగుతూ ఉంటాం కదా కొన్నిసార్లు అంతే. So this is my thumb. So my thumb is like V, and this is into the board that is B. So therefore, as you said, so that this is my positive potential, normal to the face. So therefore, with that clarity, without any hesitation, so I dare taking positive sign here, and now this is negative sign. All right. So once we have this, now you tell me what happens to this PN. In case of PN also same, right? I take also PN, it is also again same. Let me take this PN. Oh, how I'm drawing. Take, you adjust with this PN. So if I take this, I mean this PN case, what do you have here? Again positive, right? So
Yes, sir.
at P you must have positive, at N you must have negative. Now you tell me here, EMF induced equal to what across MN?
BVR, sir.
Why BVR?
Sir,
Why?
both sides same.
Yeah, you see, now you tell me one point, okay? Let me redraw this, okay? I just take potential difference across this MP. So what do I get now? Negative potential, okay? I get negative potential here first. I'm taking across MP, and then at P I have here what? Positive potential, okay? Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
this
sir.
one we can take like that. Now what do you have at P? This is my point P. So at
Yes,
point
sir.
P, you have positive potential here. So I have connected point P, and here also I have positive potential, okay? So I must take again positive potential and negative potential here. Now you tell me, you apply KVL here, now what you get? This you are
Zero.
saying obviously zero. You are saying this is BVR, this is BVR. I am moving from negative to positive, okay? When I move from negative to positive, achieving something, so therefore positive BVR. And anyways, I have to move like this. I have to move all the way like this, okay? Again, entry at positive, exiting at negative. I'm entering at positive, exiting at negative, losing something that is minus BVR, and this must go to zero. So BVR minus BVR equal to zero. So end of the day, when you attempt moving this semicircular loop, okay, or semicircle towards right like this, you take towards left or right, doesn't matter. Then end of the day, across MN, there is no EMF induction, right? Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's it. You please go home and do this. You try to move this guy like this, okay? You please go home and do this now. This complete setup, whatever setup you have, you try to move him up, or go home and try to find this, move him down, okay? Then you please find what are you going to get. It's you can take this into consideration. Just try to find, please. So I think we worked with a conductor vertical, we worked with horizontal, we also took inclination to inclination, whatever, and we took some random shaped wire, and also we worked with a circle, and now we worked with this one. Okay, so again you go home and verify also with these rectangular square loops, and that's it. So we are done with everything. So we just also took the random structures into consideration, and this is all about, this is what I thought to say in the first hour, and I did that. Now we will take, now time is 3:03. Again we'll meet at 3:08. Okay, so we will take 5 minutes break. Just take 5 minutes break. So are you seeing MATLAB screen, MATLAB window?
Sir.
Yeah, so I think you did some, I think you were in workshop, maybe you have learned something about matrix creation and all these things, but I don't think directly if I go in MATLAB, I don't know what you'll understand. But what can I do? I think I cannot teach you now MATLAB and make you because I thought to do how to find gradient of a scalar. Okay, so gradient of a scalar, divergence of a vector. Pictorially, I mean, pictorially how to find the stuff. So that's what I try to show you. But do you know how to use for loops or this kind of loops in MATLAB? Do you have any idea? I don't think so. Do you have? Yes or no? No?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Not a problem. So I'll do one thing. We have a little, we have some time now. So now it's 3:17. We have up to 4 o'clock. Let me give you some core fundamentals in MATLAB. Then I will try to show you how to find gradient of a scalar in MATLAB. Then I can. Do you know what's the Taylor series here? Do you know Taylor series? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What? I mean, why do we use Taylor series?
To plot any function in algebraic form, sir. To convert.
Okay. Do you know how to plot figures? I think, okay, that day I was there in that, so most of the things are not dealt that time. So, but without those basics, it's difficult for you to understand things in MATLAB. Oh, no. 1 second, just a minute. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see the font clearly on command window? You have command window here. On the left side, you have current folder. On top of command window, okay, or above command window, now you are seeing editor window. An editor window where you can see the list of files. Here you're seeing, right, plot, YY plot, I'm showing some analytical Taylor approximation, or sine for loop, sine vectorization. I have some programs which I did already. So, and here you're seeing workspace on the left, on the right side. Are you able to see these things?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I think
Yes,
there
sir.
is some basic variable manipulation kind of stuff in MATLAB. So I don't require to go again for all those things. For example, you see, if you want to define a matrix, generally why we take matrix. So actually I thought to take your section that time, but I took workshop for third year. Now you're seeing this black screen, right? So
Yes, sir.
yeah, okay. So now what I want to let you know is this. Know what you should know is this. Now there is a big intention behind the name. What is the full name for MATLAB?
Matrix Laboratory.
Great. So this guy, MATLAB. Anyone, what is the intention of MathWorks? So MathWorks developed this MATLAB programming language. It's a very, you can use it extensively for scientific and engineering applications. So most of the toolboxes devoted, for scientific and engineering applications. And you have today, now every year MATLAB will come with 2 versions, okay? I have 2 versions every year. So if I see, if I show you the version of this MATLAB which I'm using now, I have 2018 also, but it's slow now because my system is running slow. I can't use that 2018 now. I'm using C. If I just enter version, now what are you seeing here? Are you seeing R2015B?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what is that? Is now you're seeing now R2015B. This R means release. Okay, this is release. So I'm using the released version in 2015. Okay, and the B version, the B type. The B type means what, every year. So every year, so MATLAB will come with 2 versions. So R2, for example, now, for example, if I go to this 15, R215A, R2015B. So in the month of September, he will launch this B version. So in the month of March, he will launch this A version. Okay, every 6 months he will launch the new versions. So now, like this, now you can enjoy R2020B. Okay, now this is there in the in the market. You can avail this. So you can make use of it. September 17th. On September 17th this year, he released the latest version 2020B. In this you can make use of this beauty. It means once you know the programming stuff, you will enjoy these things. Live editor stuff is there. And also, machine learning, complete machine learning stuff is there. Complete artificial intelligence is there. Complete data science is there. Complete stuff, deep learning, everything is included in 2020B. Okay, of course, this is there also in 2020A, but in 2020B, you can enjoy this live editor and all these things. So once you know the programming and once you face the trouble with the previous versions, then only you can appreciate this 2020B. Okay, so first of all, one should have that clarity. So what is the intention behind this MATLAB is this. This is a great intention here. You see, for example, what is this? What is this here approximately? What is this? Okay, I should draw a little, then you will tell me. What is this now?
House, sir.
Oh, fine, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, this is house. Say I have something called as, this is my laboratory. For God's sake, you can't find this anywhere, okay, for laboratory. And now, what do you do in laboratory? You perform some experiments, you do some operations, okay? So to do something, what do you require here? This is house of what? This must be house of data, okay? To process something, to experiment something, if you want to experiment something, if you want to operate something, what do I require? I require some data, right? Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
and
Yes,
that data must be housed. So I will house this data. Okay. Now, house of data is nothing but, we say, a matrix. So when I say matrix, I just keep data in this matrix. Now I require some data to process it, to extract information from it, to experiment it, to operate on the stuff, whatever. So for that I require data, and that data I will put in the form of a matrix. Now what MATLAB does is that MATLAB will fetch the data. MATLAB will fetch the data from the matrix, and then it start experimenting it, it start operating over it, and so on. Further, it keep on go like that. So that's the intention, okay? Whatever you take in MATLAB, whatever you try to input in MATLAB, by default, MATLAB will take something as an array or a matrix otherwise, okay? So that's the intention of the name MATLAB. Cliff Moore, Professor Cliff Moore, he started developing MATLAB. See, those days professors are very brilliant, right? Cliff Moore, a professor, he came forward. He developed he developed actually two softwares for students. Okay, those two softwares, I just don't want to name all those things, it will take a big deal of time again. So those two softwares, finally they extended that's those softwares to the further a final name called as MATLAB, now Matrix Laboratory. Okay. And that's the intention, and that's the motivation behind the name, this MATLAB. So this is very, very important to know. That's what I just told you. Okay, so whatever. So I think I told you that time, if I have some x is equal to some 7, and say I can also give comma, no problem. Some y is equal to 4 3, like this. Now I have x equal to 7, y equal to 3. If you see workspace, what do you see in the workspace now? You are seeing in the workspace two variables, right? X and y. Are you seeing them?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you want to see the variables, just enter who. Now I have the variables x, y followed by answer. Because why? Because here I used version. Okay. By default, if I don't assign to any variable, MATLAB will show the variable name as ANS, and therefore it is also showing ANS as variable right away. Means moment ago I used variable x followed by y. So MATLAB is just showing those two variables on the screen, x, y. I'll show it now whose. If I just associate s to who, now I can enjoy everything. You see, answer 1 by 21. See, if you I'll remove this answer there. Now I'll just go for who. I have xy, now whose. Okay. Now are you seeing, you're seeing all xy here, right? You just tell me one thing. In MATLAB, we don't require to give any type to my variable. By default, type is what? Double. And also what are you seeing here now? 1 by 1, right? Y is also 1 by 1 says. You know what's the meaning of that?
Yes, sir.
You know, the meaning is straightforward here. The meaning is by
1 by 1.
default MATLAB is taking every variable as an array or as a matrix. Yes or not? This is like row and this is like column. Are you able to get this? If I click on this X on workspace, and what are you seeing now? Are you seeing a big matrix here now?
Yes, sir.
Now see, now I knowingly I go here, I give 4, I give 5, I give 6, I give 3. Now I'll see what happens now. Okay, let me see what happens. I give this way. Now I type x. Now what did you get? Initially I have x is equal to 7, right? I have x equal to 7, but now I deliberately entered into workspace followed by x, and deliberately entered into x, and I kept giving some numbers followed by 7. See, 7 4 4 6 3. Okay, it became now what? A complete vector. Yes sir, I have vector of elements. That means you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity. You can give a matrix of elements throughout this size. Are you able to understand this? See, this is the beauty here. You can give, that means by default in MATLAB, everything is a matrix. Every variable is also a matrix. So more than a matrix, you can say an array. Yes or not? It's very good to say an array than a matrix always. So that's I mean, for example, you see, I have what I can say is this. This is my circle set. Let me take one Chotu circle. Okay, like this. Now, can I say, now if I say this guy is an array, can I say him as matrix? Yeah? Yes or not? Because matrix is how, what dimension is the matrix here? Matrix is what dimension? 2 dimension. Vector? Vector what dimension? Anyone?
One dimension.
1 dimension. What about array? Any dimension, 1 dimension or 2 dimension or 3 dimension or 4 dimensions or 5D, 6D, 7D, so on. Yes or not? So therefore I could say a vector is subset of matrix and this is subset of array. Yes or not? So therefore you could also say MATLAB is array programming language, because by default matrix is within array. So therefore I can say it's also array programming language. So with that confidence, now I can say X is an array, or I can say X is a matrix, or also I can say X is an, I can say X is a vector. What is size of X now? If I take size of X, I got 1 by 5. That means 1 row and 5 columns. Okay. Are able to get this? So this could be a vector, this could be a 1 by 5 matrix, and this could be what? A 1-dimensional array. Are you getting this? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now you see. Let me, okay, assuming that you know what is a vector and all these things. So now clear command, CLC means clear command window. Okay, any comments you have to give, you have to use in percentage symbol. Okay, so it's very good to go with this editor window rather than command window, because on command window you can't edit something. You can only enter something, you can execute that, but you can't edit that. Okay, if you want it, you can't do that. And also function files are not defined on command window. Actually, you have 2 types of files. You have 2 types of files. Don't save. You have many types of files, but we will take two types. One is script file. Okay. Other is what you know, function file. So you always code something in MATLAB in either of these 2 files, script file, function file. But very often we use this. This is just to check, but very often we use this than function file. Now in script file, you can edit whatever. That of course also you can use this function file. It all depends on you. Okay. So both we are using on editor window. So generally what we do on editor window, we use these 2. Okay. So we can't use him. I can't use function file on command window, but I can also use script file on also on command window. Okay. But this fellow is only on editor window. Editor window. Now, for example, what do I take? I want, for example, I want to generate a matrix. Okay, I want to generate a matrix using for loop. I want to generate this. What's wrong in that? Okay, so let me generate a 3 by 3 matrix. I want to generate a 3 by 3 matrix, and for that I want to use for loop. Okay, so you know the first syntax is something like this. It's just like C, what you know, but we don't take any open brackets like C. Now you have this index variable. For index variable we will take, okay, for index variable followed by range of that variable, and you have action statements. You have action statements here, and then give the end. That's it. Now, what is our motivation here is that, okay, I just forgot to say here, script file means, we know, just to give file name, some file name you give, file name .m, extension is .m. When you come to function file, the file name by default becomes function name. By default, file name must be function name.m. Okay, I think we verified with also variables in our previous discussions. maybe before workshop, I think we know that, or after workshop, I don't remember. I think we have read that. Now what I want to say, let me want to generate a matrix using for loop. Then I will try to show some figures in MATLAB, how to show figures also. So I'll not save it. MATLAB is a very depth programming language. So that means, I once covered MATLAB in 95 hours. I just gave online, online means it was just offline. Students used to come to me. I completed this MATLAB course in 95 hours. So we did some projects also in this MATLAB. That was a separate lecture series. So anyways. Soon I'm planning to post some lectures in YouTube also coming to MATLAB, because it's a very important software for especially C graduates. So what I want to say, for example, see, I want to generate a 3x3 matrix. So how many elements I have? I have 9 elements. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's make a magic. I will try to start. I'll just start like this. Okay, I just start like this and it travel this way. I first start with this element, then I go for this element, I enter now. See, how do you enter a matrix in MATLAB? Anyone of you know this? For example, you see, I have a matrix, say MATLAB is again case sensitive. For example, capital A, small a, they're different, okay? Capital A is equal to, say, I have square brackets. For example, say 2, 3, 4. I can give 2, 3, 4. If you want to go to first row, you have 3 elements, 2, 3, 4. Second row, I'll give something like 1, 4, 6. Okay. And again, semicolon. Semicolon means I go to next row. Okay. For example, I have 6, 7, 3. Now what happens? Are you seeing a matrix here?
Yes, sir.
Now what is size of A? Size of A is 3x3. Answer equal to 3x3. Now to make further clarity, what I do now is that, say, let me take A comma B, or I can take, say, N comma M is equal to, I'll give size of A. Now see, now what did you get here? N equal to 3, M equal to 3. To make it further very clear, I give R comma C is equal to size of A. This indicates I have 3 rows and 3 columns. Okay, row is equal to 3, columns equal to 3. This size is an inbuilt function. It is taking an argument. That argument, this is your A is a matrix. See, directly is taking matrix as an argument. Okay, I'm giving matrix as an argument to size function. Now, this size function must return something, the size of A. So I'm capturing those returned values in 2 variables, Mr. Row, Mr. Column. So now I gave here square brackets, indicates that you show, that means you treat the return values as a vector. So whenever you want to treat them as a vector, give it in square brackets. I know that size of A will return me 2 values. So one for row, other for column. And that row column elements, I want to treat them as a vector of elements. So therefore, I give square brackets. In MATLAB, whenever you're giving square brackets means you're treating things as a vector. Okay, that's it. So, okay. So now, can I go like this? Now what I do? Now, say this is your matrix. So I deal this, I take this guy. I take 2 variables, 2 index variables, one index variable for, say, row, and other index variables, say, for columns. Okay, I want to take 2. Now let me take, say, N for row, M for columns. Okay, are you able to get this? I want to take 2 index elements, one for row. See, this element, this guy will refer only rows, row 1, row 2, row 3. Similarly, I want to take one index variable for, say, column. This is column 1, column 2, column 3. Now, can I say like this? Now I can say, what I can say now? I'm using 2 for loops. Okay, I just thought to say, okay, for example, I have for. Anyone want to help me? For example, I want to plot this, say, m square plus n square. Every element, for example, I have a matrix of elements. a m comma n is equal to m square plus n square. Okay, this is what, for example, I want to really, that means, for example, if I take a11, a11 is equal to what? 1 square plus 1 square. Are you getting this? That means a by default a11 equal to 2. Second time what I will do is that this m is fixed, n will be incremented to 2. So a12 is equal to what? 1 square plus 2 square is equal to 4. So a12 is equal to 4. Are you getting this? This is like this is like a11, this is like a12, a13, a21, a22, are you getting this? So on. Okay, so we can also display a matrix like this. I'm just taking this expression. You can take any expression whatever you want. Now how can I write code for this? See, for example, you know what I do in MATLAB, I can do this. For n is equal to say I say 1 colon. When I say 1 colon, that means 1 2. For example, you see I come to this 1 colon 4. Now what do I get? I get 1 2 3 4. Are you able to see this? Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now see, I give 0.5 as an increment. Now what happens?
1 to 8.
No, I get 1 to 4
1
only.
1.5
But increments I'll get 0.5. See, 1, 1.52, 2.53, 3.54. So if I want to know the length of this, can I find length of this like this? I want to know length of this guy. Is it possible in MATLAB to directly give like this and to find length? Is it possible to in MATLAB directly giving length like this? See, for example, length of this. It is showing me. Control C. I'm sorry. So length of C. Now what I will do? I want to know this 1 colon 0.5 colon 4. It's possible, right? Yeah. The length of these elements. How many you have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have this. If I take length of this, how many I get now? How many I get now? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it, 4. So by default, when I say 1 colon 4, when I say this 1 colon 4 by default, now I get increment as 1. So if you want any further, if you want particular increment, you can give like this 0.5, 0. It's up to you, 2, 3, whatever you want, you can give. So that's the intention here. So therefore, with that intention, what I'm doing is that for n is equal to, I'm taking 1 to what I can take. So here I know, in this case, I know I have 3 rows for n, 3 columns. So I take n is equal to 1 to 3. Okay. Now also I'll take, now what I do for m is equal to, I'll take 3 colon minus 1 colon 1. If I take for m is equal to 3 colon, see, because this for needs some n, this I'll give. This for also needs some n, this we can give. This is what nested for loop. I'm just using nested for loop in this case. Now for m is equal to 3 colon, what is the meaning of 3 colon minus 1 colon 1 here? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see, I asked this to your final year students. I just asked them, can you display? I'm writing in green font, okay? Display, if I say display numbers from say 4 to 1. I want in decrement order. Your seniors came forward like this. They displayed this way, sir, 4 colon 1. Because they know that 1 colon 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. They came forward and they just gave me this answer, 4 colon 1. Now they thought that they will get 4, 3, 2, 1, but in turn they observed it returned an empty matrix. You see, empty matrix from the 0. You can't define like this. So therefore, what do now? See, for example, you're incrementing, right? For example, I'm incrementing by default. When I say one column 4, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're incrementing every number by 1. That's the meaning of 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want from 4 to 1, you have to decrement, right? So decrementing every element by 1. Now we get 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So see, now in second year only you came to know this. Your seniors struggled to give this answer in final year. Finally, no one gave that answer. No one. That was a miracle. Yeah. For m is equal to, why I went this one case, you know. See, for m is equal to 3 colon minus 1 colon 1. Now I do this. Now I take, for example, say capital A of, say I'll take n comma m is equal to, I will write n square plus m square. That's it, n. That means, you know what's the meaning of this? When MATLAB comes to this position, okay, now it will check n is equal to 1 to 3. When n is equal to 1 to 3, for the first time what it does here, I think you have some basic programming language maybe. For the first time what it does,
n equal to 1, sir.
n equal to 1, very good. For the first time it will take anyways n equal to 1, then
n equal to 1, m equal to 3.
very good. So now for the first time n equal to 1, and also it will take m equal to the first element 3. So this one is done. So by the time you come here, now what happens is that n is equal to 1, m is equal to 3 is equal to, it performs this 1 square plus 3 square. So what you get now? You get 1 plus 9, 10. So it will store that value. Now, you know, MATLAB will create a separate matrix for A. Initially it will take all zeros here. Initially MATLAB will take all zeros. Otherwise you can define here that A is equal to, I can define here, initially A is equal to some zeros. This is one inbuilt function, zeros of 3 comma 3. Okay, I can define a matrix like this. Say for A is equal to, if I type zeros inbuilt function, so zeros 3 comma 3. What is the meaning of this? So 3 rows and 3 columns. Now you see, are you seeing this 3 by 3 matrix here of zeros?
Yes, sir.
So now what matter, it will means all these zeros slowly in each and every iteration it will you know replace these zeros by their own corresponding non-zero values, or whatever zero it is, it will replace over here. That's what MATLAB does every time. So I come here. Now what did I get? A13. What is A13 here? This is my A13. Yeah. So this is my A13. So this 0 will be replaced by now what? 10. Okay. Now the moment it comes here, the moment it comes to this n, again MATLAB will go where now? MATLAB will fit, again he will go from here to this, again this inner loop. When it comes to the second time, this is my second time. When he's coming to second time, what is m now?
2, sir.
Yeah, now m is equal to 2. When I reach the second time, m is equal to 2. But what about n? I did not go to
1
outer
only.
loop. N is equal to still 1, right? N is equal to still 1, but m is equal to 2 now. So therefore, it just take that. So a is n is equal to 1, m equal to 2. So therefore, 1 square plus 2 square. So this becomes what now? 5. Similarly, again it will come here. Okay, it will again further. Third time it will go here now again. So when it goes to third time, what is m now?
1, sir.
Yeah, for third time, m is equal to 1. That means I reached here now. But what about n? N already we have 1, because we did not really left this this inner for loop. So therefore, n equal to 1, n equal to 1 we have already. Now m equal to 1 we obtained now. So again, this guy will come down, and now we will see a 1, 1. So 1 square plus 1 square. So now this becomes 2. Are you getting this? Now, once I come here, can I go again to the same for loop?
No, sir.
Already we reached here. Now we must terminate. If it goes further, it don't find anything in the range. This is my range. You don't find anything in the range. So therefore, this will the cursor will come here, and from here the cursor will go to this for loop. Now you're referring this for the next time, okay? For the next time, see initial n is equal to 1. Next time n equal to what now?
2, sir.
Yeah, next time n equal to 2. So I just come to next time. So now n is equal to 2. But now n equal to 2. Now what is m here?
3, sir.
3,
Yeah,
sir.
very good. Now MATLAB will forget what is m now. MATLAB will never think like this. Already I verified m is equal to 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now MATLAB really don't help you like this. So by default, MATLAB will treat this as a fresh statement. So it will start from this 3 again, m equal to 3. Now same stuff, a23 is equal to 2 square plus 3 square. So now it's 4 plus 9, 13. So this is what? Second row, third column, 2, 3 means. Like this is enough, right? So we need not do until end. This is enough. So I will try to do that now. Now I will generate a matrix, you see. Now directly I will take for loop in on command window. I have this option. I can take this for loop, but I cannot define function files. I'll just tell you what's function file. So for say n is equal to 1, 2, 3, because I know 3 rows and 3 columns, but also we can make this dynamic. I can input some number, accordingly the loop will change in the range. For n equal to 1 to 3. Now for again m is equal to 3 colon minus 1, 3 colon minus 1 colon 1. Okay. Now I take a of m is equal to, what do? N square. See, when I take n square, I take dot caret. This is not CRR word, this is CARET, n square plus, when I use dot there, the meaning is we are in a vector of elements, each element we are squaring. Okay, that's the meaning. Okay, m square a n square plus m square. Now that's it. Very simple program, right? We will end it now. We will end it again. Okay, now I see a. I got a, right? Yes or not? As expected. What is my a now? A is C 10. I have 5. See, I have 2, 5, 10 here.
Yes, sir.
Something 13. So I got this.
Yes, sir.
Finished. 2, 5, 10. Something 13. So it means you are with the tempo with this. But now what I did is that after I entered this code, this simple Chotu code, I just try to find out this guy, capital A, but I suppressed the output. I suppressed the output in each and every iteration with this semicolon. Okay, I don't want to suppress output. I want to show output right in front of the screen, or on the screen, sorry. So if I remove the semicolon here, it will show output in every iteration. So what I do now, I just copy this, I paste it here. Now I remove this. Okay. Now I'll enter C. Now you'll see. What are you seeing now? In each and every iteration, what's happening is showing, you see. Okay. Now I just want to ask you one simple point. See, it showed me like this: 2, 5, 10, 5, 8, 13, 10, 13, 18, so on like this. See how many times it showed me now? Total system, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes or not? I don't want like this. I want this way. Initially you have 0. See, in the first iteration it will show me, it must show me what? 0, 0, 10, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Yes or not? When I come to second iteration, it must show me 0, 5, 10, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. How do I do that now? What a modification I must do here? Anyone? I hope you got my question. Yes or not? In the first iteration, first of all, this element will be 10. Remaining all zeros, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to show that. Then what do I do there? Here,
Sir,
anyone?
we have to display A.
We have to.
Display A.
Okay, so I'll do that for you. So, if I display A, again it is same thing, right?
Sir, after that n comma m we did not, sir.
Yeah.
And if we display, I think.
Display
A, sir.
not required. Display A. Okay, I'll follow you then. So no, see, for this programming, for this MATLAB is not required. This is a basic question. You can do this according to you. You want this one display A, right?
Sir, we have to put A inside the loop.
You have to put A inside the loop. Where inside the loop means? It's
Sir,
already a loop,
generally,
right? Hmm.
sir, like I'm talking in terms of C, sir. If you put
Okay, no
inside the
problem.
brackets,
Brackets
then
are not
yes,
required.
sir.
Brackets are not required here. See, if
Okay.
unnecessary brackets we can remove, no problem. You can also put, you can also remove. Anyone? Anyone in the class? Anyone?
Sir, if we just write A after the A and comment, I think we'll get.
Okay. Okay, let me try it that way also. Let me write here A. You mean this one? You mean this? Okay, I wrote A. Again, same. What do I do? What's happening? What can I do now? This you can tell me. There is no big deal in this because you will not think more. Okay, I will make this way. You think if someone is thinking about these dots, I'll remove dots. I'll remove this. Same. Okay. Anyone? I know someone can give this answer. I know who can give this answer. What modification I must do so that it has to show me every iteration. It must be like this.
Sir, again we have to do A zeros.
Again, A zeros where? After this statement.
No, sir. No, sir.
Where?
Sir, after every iteration, I think A will be getting the values. No, sir. 2, 5, 10.
Okay.
And so for every iteration, I think before the for loop, we have to give A equal to zeros 3, 3.
Okay, let me do that. What's wrong in that? So you mean this one? A is equal to zeros. Okay, then we'll do this. According to your idea, I'll go here. I'll copy the code here now. I just came to this editor window. So I just make A is equal to zeros, 3. I can give 1, 3 also. By default, 1, 3 means 3 by 3. So I'll do it now. I'll let me save it. So for loop verification, I'm just giving some meaningful name. For loop verification. Okay. Now see, you gave A is equal to 0, 3, 3, 3. So it is showing me just directly that 0, 0, 0. Okay, if I run this, what happened? It's showing me only this A. If I type A now, I'll get the matrix. Here I can give, otherwise I can give A here. So now you see, you will get now. See, initially it is displaying this result, that is 3 zeros. Then it is displaying the total result, 2, 5, 10.
Take the semicolon and A n comma M, I think.
Okay, take the semicolon here. Great. Are you getting this now?
Yes, sir.
That's it. So, you know what this is now? Do you think it's required this one? I'll go for Control R. This green font indicates it's like a comment. MATLAB won't execute this green font stuff. Now I don't have anything here. Okay, so let me clear the command window. CLC. I will run this. Now you can enjoy what? Now what is there? So here is equal to, if you take zeros initially, then only MATLAB will replace everything. I mean zeros by its own corresponding elements. Yes or not? See, otherwise what MATLAB is showing, it is just showing like this because every time MATLAB is verifying everything and it's showing at the one. So therefore, you have to treat this guy. So when I treat this guy, I just make it CLC. Now I run this again. Now you can enjoy this. So therefore, every programmer should do this. What you know, whenever you want to display anything, okay, for example, a matrix something, it's very good practice to initialize that by zeros. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you do that by zeros, that means now we can see every nuance of that, what is happening at each and every iteration. Now, there is also one more thing to work with. For example, you see, I can set a breakpoint. I can set a breakpoint here. Just go here next to 1 and click on it on this line. Now you press F5. Okay, if I press F5, now see on command window, now you're seeing capital K followed by command prompt. Yes or not? Capital K followed by command prompt.
Yes, sir.
Generally, command prompt means only this double greater than, but now you are in debug mode. You are debugging this. So therefore, this capital K indicates that you are in debugging mode. Now, after F5, then press F10. When I press F10, you see, now what is A? I kept my cursor on A. Now what are you seeing there?
Zeros.
See, by default, did I define any data type for A?
No, sir.
But still, MATLAB directly showing A is a 3 by 3 double. By default, A is of double type, double class otherwise. Now, you know what's the meaning of 3 by 3 double? So all the 9 elements in the matrix are of double type. That's it. Are you getting this? Yeah? Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now you see. Now I'm seeing only 0 by 0 matrix here on the command window. Now, again I go to editor window, I press F10 again, I go for the step. Now for n is equal to 1 to 3, now what is n now? What are you seeing the n equal to? What
One
is, it's 1 by 1 double. That is, we did not declare any type to this. I mean, we did not define any type to this variable n, but MATLAB is taking again n as double type. Okay, and the first value, the first increment 1 is again a double. 1 by 1 double equal to 1. Now what is m? M is also C. Now I come down. Now what is m here? Now what would be m now? M is equal to 3. Yes or not? So by default,
Yes,
m
sir.
is also 5 double, m is equal to 3 now. Now m is equal to 3. Now I come down and see. See, by the time I came here, the 0, 0, 0 became what now? 0, 0, 10. That means this element got replaced with what now? 10. Okay. And I will check here what is my n. N is equal to 1.
One double.
M is equal to 3. So 1 square plus 3 square is equal to what now? A is equal to what now? 10. You see? 0, 0, 10.
Yes, sir.
Yes or not? Now
Yes,
within this
sir.
brackets also we can check. N is equal to what? 1. M is equal to what? 3. So A13 is equal to 10. A13 is equal to 10. It calculated that, and now N. Now again I press F10. If I press F10, again I'll go to statement number 3. You see? Of course. See, it already went to statement number 3. Now what is M here? Now what is M? 2, right? Yes or not? M is equal to, because second time we are coming to same loop. So M is equal to that. And now you see A is equal to what now? 5, because N is equal to 1, M equal to 2. A12 is equal to now 1 square plus 2 square. So what you get now? A is equal to 5. You are seeing 5 there, okay? That's 5 here. Are you able to get this? Again, F10. Now M is equal to what? 1. Okay, M is equal to 1. So therefore A is equal to what now? 2, because 1 square plus 1 square equal to 2. You can see that. Now if I press F10, I'll come to this N. Yes sir, not because this for loop is done. I'll come to this. Now again, now N is equal to what here? 2. Yes or not? And
Yes.
M is equal to what? 3. 3. Now see, what is A? 13. You're seeing now everything. Because N is equal to 2, 2 square is 4, M equal to 3, 3 square is 9. So therefore A is 13. Come down, N. Again, play with this. Again, you see, you're getting all the stuff here. Again, come here, M is equal to 1. Remaining, you'll get this. So on. Are you able to get this? So on. See, now final matrix you have. See, now I came to number 7, right? I computed all the elements. Then I came to number 7. Now if you press F10, you will see this right side arrow will become downside arrow. Are you seeing now?
Yes, sir.
It's saying that, dear user, please go and check on command window. Your A is ready. That's it. I came out of it and I see the A now. That's it. Very simple. I quit my debugging. Okay. So anyways, I just thought to show plots also, but we don't have time. But anyways, we will take a separate hour sometime for this command window. I will show you plots. Then I will show you how to use gradient, all these things in the next lab. In the next lab, 2 hours I will take only for lab. I not take any class because I just want to maintain same tempo with C. Now syllabus coverage is just exactly level with section A and section C. Okay, thank you for today.